Welcome, this is Carrie Schell from On Point Quilter. In this tutorial, you will learn how to draft your own Lonestar quilt. As you watch the video, think about the different things that you could change to personalize it. On the home screen, select Design a Block from Scratch. Select a new block pieced EasyDraw block. Change the width and height to 6 by 6. Snaps to 6 by 6, and set your snapping options at just snap to grid. Select the grid tool and change the number of columns and rows to 6 by 6. Drag a grid from the upper left corner to the lower right corner. Select the color tab, and we're going to use one of the Fabric of the Month collections. Electric Quilt gives us free fabric downloads every month, and I've already installed those on my computer. I will provide a link in the blog post if you would like to use these fabrics as well. Select Libraries and select Fabric Library. In the EQ Fabric Library, scroll down and click on the 2022 Fabric of the Month. Then select the plus and then select the 03 Maywood Studio hand-picked and select the collection underneath that. Do a Select All Fabrics, Add to Sketchbook, and close. You're going to find those new fabrics are at the end. With the paintbrush, select a fabric and then click on each of the patches in a diagonal row. I personally decided that I wanted to work with the solid fabrics in the collection. And select Add to Project Sketchbook. Now if you haven't named your project yet, go ahead and select OK. Navigate to the My EQ8 Projects folder on your computer. And let's label this Lonestar and select Save. Select the quilt work table and select a new quilt, and in the ribbon toolbar, select Open Library. Under the library, select Layouts by Style and then select Stars. Select the first star layout and select Edit to Quilt Work Table. If for some reason you don't see the lines, you can turn them on under the Hide Show Quilt Patch line. Select the 6 by 6 block and click on each of the diamonds in the quilt. Using Rotate, click on each of the blocks so that you have the same fabric pointed out. Select Fabric Tools and with the paintbrush, color each of the setting pieces. I personally decided to use one of the default fabrics, a white, for my settings. Select the Border tab. For the first border, let's make it a 1-inch long horizontal. Select Add and make the second one a 4-inch long horizontal. And select Add and select the style Mitered and change to 0.5. This will be the binding. Select the Design tab and with Fabric Tools, color each of the borders. Select Add to Project Sketchbook. For a second variation, let's put some applique in the setting blocks. Select the block work table and select New Block, Open Library. Select the plus next to 04 Classic Applique. Select 8 elements and select the Tulip Cross block and select Add to Project Sketchbook. And close. Select the quilt work table and under Block Tools Set Block, select the Tulip Cross block, click on each of the setting blocks. Select Fabric Tools and select Swap Color. With Swap Color, select the new fabric and click on one of the original fabrics in the quilt to do a replacement. To recolor individual patches, use the paintbrush with the Control or Command key on your keyboard and select the patch. Select Fit to Work Table, and you can hide show quilt patch lines and Add to Project Sketchbook. Let's create a third variation for our Lonestar quilt. View the Project Sketchbook, select the Blocks tab, and locate the Tulip Crossing block and select Edit. Select the Applique tab and with the Pick tool, select Control or Command plus the A key to select everything, and from the main menu select Edit Copy. Select a new block, Applique, Motif, and again make sure you've got the Pick tool selected and do an Edit Paste. With the Pick tool, select and delete all of the pieces other than one of the tulips with its corresponding sets of leaves. Drag a box to select everything and select Wreath Maker. Change the number of clusters to 8, and I'm going to move the cluster spacing to 100%. Drag the slider bar under Resize so that none of the objects are touching. To change the rotation of the tulips, select Cancel and make sure to select all of the tulip. Under Segment Rotation, type in 45 and select Apply. Select Wreath Maker and note that all of the settings are the same as where we finished off. Adjust the resize cluster so that the pieces for each of the tulips are not touching, and select OK. Select the Color tab and use Fabric Tools to recolor the wreath. I decided to do most of it in the white that I'm using in the quilt with one touch of color for the center of the top of each of the tulips. Select Add to Project Sketchbook, and on the quilt work table, make sure you are on Layer 2, and under Block Tools, Set Block, select the Motifs tab. Motifs are applique shapes without a background. Drag the block we just did on the quilt, select it with the Adjust tool, and turn on Preserve Aspect Ratio, and change the size to 35. Under Block Rotation, type in 22 degrees and select Enter, and then select Center horizontally and vertically. Select Add to Project Sketchbook. There are a ton of options to personalize this particular quilt. You could use a different fabric collection. You could have a different number of points for each of the diamonds. You could use different applique for the setting triangles, and you could include or not include applique on top of the star in the center. I look forward to seeing what you choose to do with your Lonestar quilt.